Hello everybody out there on the internet. It's me again, Dakian. Another Monday, another ramble. It's the 10th of September 2018. Another week gone. And what do I have to show for it? Well, some pirates. I finished off the Pirates of the Dragonspine C3 box set. And you're looking at some of them here. Here in the middle we have a guy with, I don't know if it's, I sort of painted like a monocle. I think it's supposed to be an eye patch, but I decided to do something different and paint it metallic. And a pretty blue coat on him. He's flanked by a couple of lady pirates. This one, yeah. Let's see if I can... There, that's more in focus, holding it a bit closer. And she does have an eye patch. And painted a bit differently than the box art because the box art made it look like she was just wearing the body covering her crotch and had bare legs. But that would have meant, you know, she just had like a thong up her ass and she was just showing the whole butt cheek. I thought that was a bit much. Didn't want to go that route. This lady, I had an issue with the gun. The way I first glued it on, it fell off, and it was then angled out, like it was holding it out to the side. When I decided to, what I did was pin it. Hopefully you can't see it. It kind of shows on the inside there, but nobody's going to look there. I drilled a pin, just managed to get a pin into the hand, and the arm was no problem. And then I decided, why that angle? Well, I realized I'd done it that way because on the Bones version of this, she's holding a sword and it's out to the side. But that's only because of it needs to be cast in one piece, so it can't have this three-dimensionality. But if this is a separate piece that I can attach it to any angle I want, and so I felt holding it this way would look a bit more natural, actually. And here I did take inspiration from the box art and painted striped pants or leggings, and that was difficult. You know, painting straight lines, parallel lines of equal thickness with just a paintbrush, that's surprisingly difficult. Well, maybe it's not so surprising, but it is difficult. I'm not an artist in that sense. What do we have to the side here? We have a guy looking for treasure, and so I tried to paint the instructions on the map as well. That's free-handed. That's the quality of my freehanding. And he's carrying a lot of equipment for digging, and he thinks he knows which way to go. Good for him. And by the way, I've painted all these very like a tanned skin color. I tried to go kind of dark with it. This guy, not much to say. He's kind of weirdly posed, odd angles, but that's the sculpt, you know. Especially his legs look kind of weird. But, oh well, there's nothing I can do about it. Here we have a guy who has found some treasure and is carrying it off. And maybe the shading on the sword is a bit much, but oh well. It's tabletop piece. It's supposed to be look good at a distance, look distinctive. It can be a bit extreme. Here, I did try to freehand some tattoos. I know what it looks like. It's supposed to be an anchor on his bicep there. I had a hard time figuring out which was the bicep, but I think this up here is the shoulder, even though he has very, very, very pronounced shoulder muscles. I don't know if that's physically possible, really, but oh well. And I don't think people put tattoos actually on the shoulder that much, do they? I don't know. I don't know much about tattoos. And I went for a simple tattoo here, like a shark mouth, you know, with teeth pointing inwards. And I tried to paint some hair around his belly because it looked weird that he would be waxed. he should have some stomach hair. I don't know if it comes across as hair or just looks dirty, but that's what it's supposed to be. And it's maybe a bit hard to make out. He has a cigar in his mouth. It's a bit hard to make it distinct because I made his hair brown, and of course a cigar is also some sort of shade of brown, so trying to distinguish two shades of brown in a very small space like that can be difficult. Oh well, maybe I should have chosen some other hair color. And finally we have the cook with the chicken. And really the only special thing I did here was paint some blood spatter on his shirt or apron. And I tried to think, okay, he's holding it in his right hand, he's going to chop like down and maybe a bit to the left, so the splatter should come up and to the right on his shirt. That was my theory anyway. Yeah. But so anyway, we have a nice collection of pirates here. Bright and happy, colorful guys. And I think that's enough pirates for now. I've done 3 box sets of pirates now. I do have some loose blisters with more Reaper pirates. But I'll give it a rest for the moment and you know, get some variety in my painting and change it up a bit and do something different. As for works in progress, I've made some progress on Tywin and Cersei. I think they're pretty much done, well, apart from the freehand. The DVD contains a freehand of a sort of brocade pattern on Tywin's cloak and a lace pattern on Cersei's dress. Now, I still need to fiddle a little bit with them. Oh, and I realized I haven't painted the chainmail. That should be iron. That has a little skirt there. And probably in the joint there at the elbow. Yeah, that should probably be silver metallic as well. And when I look at this video, I might see some details on Cersei that I want to fix. Like, I'm not sure how far up to bring her stole or shawl or whatever it is. It's sort of a deep purplish red. I'm not sure if the highlights are too red. It sort of looks like Tywin's cloak now, except a little bit darker, and that's what I'm going for, but I'm not sure. Like I said, maybe I want to tone this down a little bit. Also, there might be some spots in the dress that I missed that are rough, or the skin. It's really difficult to, now that I've spent a bunch of years trying to develop my own style of painting, to go into a DVD like the one with Marika Reimer here, and it's pretty much impossible to just copy her style across the board, because there's too much resistance from my own style. So I think the best I can hope for is to try to sort of absorb some of the things she's showing, some of the details, and learn from them, and try to adapt them into something that works with the way I paint. But we'll see. Oh yes, and I need to glaze the bottom of the dress to blend it in more with the rock, because it's a see-through dress, so you're supposed to see her skin tone through the dress here. It's supposed to be very clingy and sheer, but that means also if there's sheer fabric down here, you should see the ground through it as well. And so I've put in the visibility of the skin, but not the visibility of the rock. Gotta fix that. So still some stuff to do. And as I mentioned, I didn't go for the NMM. I went for pure true metallics here on his armor. I cannot, I might want to practice some NMM someday, but I can't do it on such a small figure as this. My old eyes can't really handle it anymore. Anyway, so I started with these Westphalia miniatures. I've been working a little bit on the skin tones for these guys, and well,
I used the blues and purples I had on my palette to paint the leggings and the codpiece on the troubadour. And by the way, I figured out his eyes look really funny. I thought, is he bug-eyed? No. Oh no, his eyelids are closed. He's so focused on his art, on his singing, that he's closing his eyes as he's doing it. Haha. Anyway, here's the mysterious stranger in the corner and the female mercenary. The monsters just have some really basic base coats. I've done some undershading here on the rust monsters. With I can show you. I had this idea. Let's see if I can carry it through. I'm not sure if I can pull it off, if this is going to be enough. But I have these Panzer Aces colors: dark rust, light rust, and yellowish rust. What better to paint a rust monster with than these rust colors? I thought. We'll see if that works. It might not be enough. I mean, I might need some higher highlights and deeper shades. Again, the owlbear simply primed, a little bit of base coat. And for the Umber Hulks, this is a sort of zenithal priming job. I base coated the base and nothing on the actual monster itself. And same thing with this guy. This is all that she wrote right now. But, you know, for next week, if I get in as much time painting as I did this week, I could finish most of what's here. Like, maybe not the Umber Hulks, but because they're a little bit more finicky. But these human figures are no problem at all. You know, I've got routines to handle those. So, well, you never know. Let's see how far we get. For my next project, it's time for some more characters after the monsters. And I'll do another Reaper box set, this one called Savage Beauty by Dennis Mize. Again, the label is coming off here, so it's a bit hard to show you. Let's look at the other side. Here's some other pictures. They're censored because some of them are not even wearing their bikini tops. Let's look inside at what we've got. So we have a bunch of scantily clad female fighters. And, well, you know, I enjoy painting the female form, like all artists. So this should be fun. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they're all one-piece castings, nothing weird to assemble. Some of them, the bases are a bit wide to fit on a 25mm plastic base, maybe, it looks like. But maybe I can trim it. We'll see. Anyway, I'll start prepping these for next week. And this week I got a box in the mail. It's not a Kickstarter, it's just I needed to order some stuff that I was waiting for. These are Reaper miniatures, some of them metal, some of them bones, and I got them from S&M in the UK, as per usual these days. And I was waiting for them to get certain models back in stock. And once they did, I decided that I really wanted them. So first off, you can see 3 dragon hatchlings here, the blue, the red, and the white. And that's because I already had, I painted up the green, you know, when I painted those 3 different sizes of green dragon recently. And I have the black model, so I decided to complete the set of the 3 chromatic dragons. Invoice, you don't need to see that. And here's one of the guys I was missing. You know, I painted a bunch of Reaper Bones orcs recently. which I got from S&M, but they didn't have this guy, the Orc War Boss, in stock. Now they did, so I picked him up, and gonna paint him soon. Same style as the others, I think. Now this is just a generally fun guy, the Frog Demon, which I think is appropriate for a Slod in D&D. We have the Carrion Worm, which I'm not sure if it represents anything in specific. It's not a carrion crawler because it seems to be coming up out of the ground, and I don't think carrion crawlers dig through the earth, and it's too small to be a purple worm. So, not exactly sure what D&D monster it would represent, but it's a cool looking thing. The Cave Troll, just a classic little troll, not much to say. And here's the other main thing I was looking for, the Ogre Smasher, because I had all the other ogres that came out at this time that were from the Bones 3 Kickstarter, but the Smasher I didn't have. So now that set is complete, and maybe in a little while I can paint them up. And finally, I got the Fire Giant Jailer, who is, yeah, I think this was the only, I painted up all of the older Fire Giant models they had. I think there's 3 of them that I've painted that came out in I believe the Bones 2 or even 1 Kickstarter. This is the only one that came from the Bones 3, and I was waiting for it to become generally available. So I don't think there's going to be any more Fire Giants until Bones 4 comes out. I don't know if there's any even there, but you know, I'll get around to this guy when I get around to him. Not sure when that'll be. So that was 9 minis purchased this week, if you are counting. Anyway, lots more activity this week than last week. Let's see if I can keep that momentum going. In any case, I will be here a week from now. In the meantime, click like, subscribe, and share, and comment, and you know, the usual drill. So, this is Dakiyan, signing off for now.